I can't tell if the fight with Billy is over. I don't think so, because pretty much the fight with him and Andy that we've had so far, it hasn't had any like big end fight moments. I feel. And on top of that, the arc is still going. We haven't even seen some of the other fights. I feel like we have to give it at least one other like side character fight before we end up finishing up this arc. Because I know that obviously Izumo is now going to challenge Summer and like no, Spring rather, the Spring Uma to some form of competition. But in doing so, like the big question I have is, like I said, it involves like the matches with the side characters. Are we gonna end up seeing what goes on between them? I mean, like, are we just gonna get it off screen? I'm hoping we at least get like the scientist guy or that one other kid or the Shogun dude. As I don't think he died. I'd have to go back and look. But now I might as well do chapter 82 as well, like the whole fight between Andy and Billy. It was more about like finding out, obviously prior to that, finding out like how to deal with Unchanged, how to actually figure out what they're gonna do. I mean, that, like, I had the fight aspect of it, not just like the dude like challenging a whole like a whole gambling thing with an Uma. Which, as a side thing, I do really like that the Uma can form like actually intelligent conversation, because it makes them more interesting, the fact that they seem to have a personality rather than them just being like forces of nature or like boss characters that God just kind of airdrops in for like the people to fight and stuff. But I really liked Izumo this chapter too. But yeah, the thing about like Andy was being pretty smart. Like, he was really figuring out how to utilize his abilities really well, because he mentions that like the longer you have a negator ability and the longer you can like figure out, or the more time you have to like figure out different aspects about it, the more powerful you can become. And Andy obviously not dying means that he just keeps getting older and finding new ways. Like when he ripped his skin off, he just like sprayed blood everywhere and made like a big smoke screen and made it so it was hard to find him in general. And while getting away, it's weird seeing when he got away and then he's slowly regenerating his hair and stuff, and we're just seeing like this big meaty bloody chest of his as he's like trying to figure out what to do. But as he's doing it, he's mentioning the cycle of Billy's abilities. He's saying, okay, he's gonna mess with their mobility with unbalance, like doing kind of like a CC kind of crowd control ability. Like, he's attacking with Unstoppable to be really fast, but with an Undead, he could heal any wounds he gets while moving so quickly. With Unmove, he can do another CC thing to stop someone in their tracks. And then Unchange, he can pretty much just he's got the whole shields, and then he can grab people and stuff. Pretty much everything that Gina could do. But while doing it, he's ready to do his own, because he doesn't know what the Billy's base ability is. I feel like it has, obviously with 6 and then using 6 shooters, that just makes sense that he's only got the 6. But while doing it, he's like ripping off like chunks of his skin and stuff, and like he just is completely bloody and goes out there in this like whole bloody armor set. And while he's using it, he's pretty much moving as he's doing it, making like little blood shells, and like pretty much making, anytime he gets caught in Unchange or in Unmove, he can just kind of like zip his way out of there and move to a different spot. He's made like a little blood shield on top of everything else. He's got like his dead shadow, but Billy even mentions like they're essentially just big scabs. I'm like, yeah, kinda. He's pretty much right on that one. We did see him use Dead Road, and it's still not as powerful as anything that Victor was doing. But this is a side note thing. We get like a pretty powerful bloodstream, like just like rocketing out, but nothing enough that would really kind of compare. But once they get close up to each other, like he puts a gun right in Andy's face, that's not going to do anything. Whereas Andy gets like a finger ripped to his face, and like Andy can just like damage his finger and then like shoot a parts bullet like directly through Billy's brain. And even when he's mentioning is like Billy can use their abilities, but he can't use them to the same like extent, because he's not as experienced with them in general. He can just use the abilities and then use them in whatever manner he already knows and whatever way he can utilize it, pretty much. But as they're doing their things, and he's just kind of like, they're just having like a little back and forth of a battle. You have Izumo up at the, going up to where the Spring Ume is. They're even saying like, the cherry trees are wilting. And he's just happy to have served like his purpose, because they're pretty much sending Izumo, because they're using the unluck ability, against this dude. And there was like an interesting part from his character from this one, because we see like a short flashback in the during the whole bit of the spring Uma, and when he was like this in his first phase, and he's looking like a little rookie level Digimon, but he's like running away and saying how but way back in the day, like way back during different times of Japan, people thought like the cherry blossoms were like a bad omen. They were a really bad sign, so they hated him, and it made him sad, and he got chased and attacked and stuff. But obviously that's not the case anymore. Like legitimately, he could just talk to somebody. They'd probably tell him they like cherry blossoms. They're very pretty trees. And Izumo starts like discussing with them. She loves cherry blossoms, and there were lots of unfortunate things that happened in the past, but people started associating like death with like nature and stuff. And she's like pretty much just trying to be like, hey, chill out. It's not a big deal, man. We got you. But while she's doing it, she's like mentioning her unluck abilities, but like at the same time just seeing how much she enjoyed seeing the cherry blossoms, even while she's like all locked up and out in school, and she enjoyed spring. So like that whole bit was really nice. It just gave her like a really nice kind of reminiscent bit about the trees. And then he ends up going to like a higher level, and they mentioned how they've never seen a third phase. So now, like, it's taken up a whole extra notch. He's, like, yelling at her and trying to go a little crazy. And there's apparently 100,000 people that have to be put on the line. And Izumo is ready to do this. She's ready to bet on this dude and try and win. And I'm guessing, like if she gets her unluck ability just on him, if she just walks up and touches him, is she going to win? I'm very curious as to how exactly this is going to go. Because it's a weird match. I didn't expect Izumo to be in a 1v1 match against this, powerful being. Because, like, her power is strong, but I mentioned a lot in my videos, like, she's not a fighter. So something like this is going to be really fresh to watch. Like, it's going to be fun seeing exactly how she overcomes this guy. And, like, how this battle is going to go. But also, at the same time, like, what's going to happen to the other fights? Because, like I said, I don't think that Andy versus Billy has ended in a real big, like in a way that really fills out Billy as like a bad guy, or at like a satisfactory bad guy end. So I'm guessing like there's going to be more going on with them either after this arc, or there's going to be way more to this arc. Because there's no way that Billy ends here. Like he either has to have some big massive battle where he's like a raid boss character, or he, his big fight is going to happen much later. But anyway, other than that, though, solid chapter, pretty good stuff. I really want to see where this next bit goes and what Izumo's doing. Very underrated female lead, for sure. Anyway, other than that, comment below. Thumbs up the video, but for the like button, subscribe, and check out my other videos. But that, appreciate it. Already subscribed, and thank you all for listening. Bye.